Whilst you might argue to the contrary, perhaps a fair result on the balance of things. Your final thoughts, Jim?
Well, they were posed with problems in wide areas and they couldn't find a solution to those wide defensive positions. A very poor show.
Well, thanks to Jim alongside me, and as the fans make their way home, so must we. Good evening to you. Champs and chumps, the winners were so good at times, a side that can and will trouble more or less everyone. So Jim, how do you reflect on what we've seen?
Well, look, it was very one-sided. Their players didn't turn up for the first half and then it all went downhill.
So thank you very much, Jim, for joining me. That brings us to the end of our coverage. So from us both, a very good evening.
Sirens, we unite, let good things ripen. Done with the silence, clear your mind, let's shake with the vibrance. Lights out, time is wasted on you. I got all my people out here shining, show you how we do. They'll be turning their heads when we're coming through. Yeah, 'cause you're old news now, 'cause you're old news now. Lights out, time is wasted on you. Shine on, baby, you divine, so keep on fighting. Find the horizon, better rewind. No man is an island. Sounding the sirens, we unite. Let good things ripen. Down with the silence, free your mind.
But they managed to throw it all away. A defeat made even more painful by the way it came to pass. Any reflections on what you've seen, Jim?
Well, the surprise for me was seeing a team look so feeble in what is usually a strongly protected area, but the centre of their defence looked open and very, very unsafe.
And with that, it's time for me to thank Jim Beglin and to wish you a very good evening.
Gonna shine on, baby, you divine, so keep on fighting. Find the horizon, better rewind. No man is an island. Sounding the sirens, we unite. Let good things ripen. Done with the silence, clear your mind. Let's shake with the vibrance. Lights out, time is wasted on you. I got all my people out here shining, show you how we do. They'll be turning their heads when we're coming through. Yeah, 'cause you're old news now, 'cause you're old news now. Lights out, time is wasted on you. I got all my people out here.
On another day, but alas, that wasn't to be, and they go down by the odd goal. Any reflections on what you've seen, Jim?
Well, the game plan for me just looked a little confused, and the crowd seemed to pick up on this early on, and it just created a kind of negative vibe around the whole stadium. And I think this performance was one best deleted from the memory bank now.
Well, that's it for tonight's match, so it just remains for me to thank Jim Beglin alongside me and to wish you all a very good evening. The spoils, and it is nothing less than what they are perfectly entitled to following this splendid display of poise, potency and proficiency. Darwin voted man of the match, and deservedly so. How do you look back on the game then, Jim?
Well, the look on the manager's face says it all. He knows he set his attack up perfectly, and the players carried out his instructions to the letter, it would seem. Everything working very nicely.
My thanks to Jim alongside me, and as the fans make their way home, so must we. Good evening to you.
I found a deeper love. Open up my mind, set my spirit free. I found a deeper love. I found a deeper love. Open up my mind, set my spirit free. I found a deeper love. Open up my mind, set my spirit free. I found a deeper love. Oh, yeah. Spirit free.
The two sides separated by the game's only goal. Well, after all of that, Jim, what are you thinking?
And there's a lot more to read into this game than just the scoreline.
Just a quick announcement and an exciting
That's where we have to end it. From me, Peter Drury, and my co-commentator, Jim Beglin, a very good evening to you all. Everything looked so good for them to start with, but as we have seen so many times, they ended up with nothing. Thoughts on what we've just seen?
Yeah, well, I've been on the losing side in games like this, and I can tell you it really does hurt. It's about the fans, and when you let them down, it hurts that bit more. I mean, you can do all the right preparations and still end up on the losing side. I don't think they'll be going out tonight.
And that's where we have to end it. From me, Peter Drury, and my co-commentator, Jim Beglin, a very good evening to you all.